Why is it that the one thing that is agreed upon by all too many people, regardless of which side they claim to be speaking for, is that the only viable solution to any given problem is to take freedom by giving the government more power?
Architectural Artcast.
Trump went and created another firestorm with his executive order on the burning of flags. The order doesn't criminalize the actual burning of the flag, but you better not break any other laws when you do that burning. A whole bunch of interesting people have come crawling out of the woodwork to suddenly wrap themselves in the American flag and declare, "I love this country so much, I think anybody who burns the American flag should rot in jail forever." And before you start preaching about free speech, I'm tired of the other side using our principles against us. It's time we throw those principles out and fight fire with fire. And anybody who disagrees with me is evil. Well, somebody needs to be doing some preaching, because either some of y'all don't understand what's going on here, or you aren't who you say you are. I was a senior in high school when the Supreme Court ruled that flag burning was protected speech, that the government couldn't ban something just because it was socially unpopular. The lady who taught civics and history was your stereotypical, very liberal and very popular teacher. Wait a minute, Randy. You grew up in a rural community with very traditional American values. People that are supposed to be intolerant and narrow-minded. But yet, the most popular teacher in town openly advocated for ideas that the community vehemently opposed. Don't think about it, Randy. Don't think about it. The reason why I bring up this teacher is the whole time around that Supreme Court decision, burning flags was hotly debated. One day in class, she wanted to make a point, so she pulled the flag off the wall and she pointed to a guy in the class. He was famous for always wearing a leather motorcycle jacket, and he listened to that heavy metal music. And he was notorious for being anti-authoritarian, always in trouble for something or another he said or did. And she asked him, "Do you love America?" Immediately, "Yes, I do." She said, "Prove it. I want you to get on your hands and knees, crawl across the floor, and kiss this flag." And he did. It doesn't take a genius to figure out the point that teacher was trying to make. But the moment she picked that guy, the whole class knew she'd done screwed up. That choice proved she might be well liked in the community, but she wasn't from the community. All it would have taken is for her to go a couple blocks over to the town's war memorial. And if she would have looked at the list of all the people in the area who've died in service to this country, she would have seen that guy's last name about a dozen times. For him, the flag represents the sacrifices his family has made for this country. He thought it was his privilege to get on his knees and kiss the flag. That rectangular piece of silk, more likely to be rayon today, but that silk is more than silk. It is the embodiment of an idea, the American experiment, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, freedom. And people have been willing to die to protect that idea. As the story goes, during the Civil War at the Battle of Gettysburg, the 69th New York, the famed Irish Brigade, were tasked with attacking entrenched Confederate forces across an open wheat field. It didn't go well for the Irish Brigade. They were decimated. Right after the battle, the remnants of the Irish Brigade were desperately searching the battlefield. They were trying to find their colors, the American flag and their unit flag. They originally thought the Confederates had captured them. Off to one side, they found a small group of Union soldiers who had died hard. The Confederates paid a high price to finish them off. And as they're going through the bodies, they recognized one of the Union soldiers. He was the color guard. His job was to literally defend the flags. And he didn't look quite right. He was laying kind of awkward, and they didn't remember him being that stocky. The color guard was an Irish immigrant who had joined the Union Army to fight for his new country. And his dying act was to fold the symbols of that new country, to fold the symbols of the ideas that he was fighting for, and to tuck them inside his tunic, button that tunic all the way up, and then roll over on his belly so that the enemy could not capture those symbols. There are thousands of stories identical through this, all throughout American history.
But America has slavery and all sorts of other bad stuff.
Yep, all of that is true, but the flag symbolizes the ideal, what we aspire to, what we want to be. I highly recommend y'all look into the history of the Buffalo Soldiers, African American men who served in the Army from after the Civil War all the way up to World War I. Most of those men were either born into slavery or the sons of slaves. They knew way better than any of us how this country fails to live up to its ideals, but they still believed in the ideals. Just look at some of the stories of what lengths they were willing to go to protect the symbol of those ideals. It's understandable why people would take exception to having the symbol of their culture, their ideals, their beliefs burnt, because there is symbolism in the act of burning something. In most cultures, faiths, and religious traditions, to burn something is to purify it. So when you burn an American flag, what you are saying is that the ideas that it represents are so repugnant and so evil that the only way you can keep it from contaminating the world is to purify it by burning it with fire. This is where things get difficult. Our cultural values tell us we're supposed to allow the people who hate us publicly tell us they hate us. On paper, that sounds good. But in real life, when those people tell us they hate us with such venom and vitriol, not so easy. This is a classic example of everybody getting worked up over the thing, the flag burning, that they forget to ask the question, why are they doing the thing? Well, it's obvious. They hate America. Yeah, but why the tactic of flag burning? If your goal is to destroy a culture, the first thing you have to do is destroy the symbols of that culture. Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals. Identify your target, isolate your target, vilify your target, destroy your target. You have more and more groups coming out saying, I find that symbol offensive. You have academia and the media saying that symbol really represents naughty stuff. And then you got people running around saying, yeah, it's so bad. Here, let me burn it for you. At the same time, other symbols are being celebrated. Now, these are the ideals you should be aspiring to. But you better not burn these symbols because that will get you in trouble. And if your goal is to destroy a symbol, thus being able to destroy the culture, you have to be able to keep people from criticizing what you're doing. So that nasty First Amendment with its pesky freedom of speech, that's right out. It has to go, because the last thing we want is people feeling comfortable speaking up against what you're doing. But yet, some are shocked and appalled to suddenly learn that those ideologies that openly advocate for ends justify the means and have consistently shown that they're willing to say or do anything to gain power never cared about free speech. In fact, they're actively trying to destroy free speech. Somebody is either really stupid or lying. As I said, some interesting people have suddenly come out and wrapped themselves in the American flag and have announced they're tired of the people who want to destroy our culture, who want to destroy free speech, using our own values against us. So it's time to throw those values out and fight fire with fire. So let me get this straight. We're being told that the best way to stand up against the people who want to destroy our culture and want to destroy free speech is by doing the exact thing they want us to do. Me thinks me smells a rat here. Those who make the lock 'em up argument, whether we be talking lock you up for burning the new symbols or for burning the American flag, all reveal the same fatal flaw in thinking. They don't think that the solution's their problem. They want somebody else to handle it. Preferably just give the government more power. They'll take care of it. Yeah, that always works out well. I've mentioned a couple times already that there's some interesting people who have suddenly wrapped themselves in the American flag and now care so much about freedom, they're willing to destroy freedom to save freedom. But yet a couple years ago, when freedom was under attack, they were either strangely quiet or actively cheered on the oppression, called for those fighting for freedom to be punished. Yeah, some people might have forgotten, but not all of us. If anything, I'm a problem solver, and I have a radical solution to all of this. Now you're going to say, this is crazy talk, but hear me out. First, if burning symbols is the law of the land, which the Supreme Court says it is, then no more protected symbols. None of this one's okay, but that one will get you in trouble. They're all fair game. The second part of the solution is on all of us. If the goal is to destroy the symbol, to make the American flag so toxic no one will defend it, why aren't we defending the flag? Why aren't we flying the flag? Where's your flag? Why isn't it in front of your house, on your wall, on your desk at work? And those people yapping the loudest, screaming, lock them up, destroy freedom to save freedom, fight fire with fire. Where's their flag? As I said, interesting people. The flag is under attack because of what it represents, what it symbolizes, freedom. It's freedom that they're trying to burn. And it's freedom that we should be protecting from everybody, no matter who they claim to be speaking for. At any rate, I hope I've given you all something to think about. And until next time, y'all be safe. If y'all are still here, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. While you're at it, why don't you like this video, subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell. You can hear me yammer on about something else next time. And feel free to share this video far and wide.
Please like and subscribe. Please leave a comment.